Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be covering flags that feature weapons on them. Let's go. Disclaimer, this is only going to include flags with weapons on them that belong to an actual nation. No like former nations or anything like that, just present day nations with weapons on their flags. For the majority of this video, I'm only going to be talking about the emblems on these flags. I'm not going to go into detail about the flags themselves. So first up, we have the flag of Iran. The piece of this flag that contains a weapon is the emblem in the center. The four curves in this emblem are a stylized representation of the Arabic word for Allah, and the 5 parts of this emblem are supposed to symbolize the principles of Shia Islam. The emblem is also supposed to represent a tulip, which is used to represent those who have passed. In the center of this emblem, there is a sword. Now, some people say it's not a sword, but according to my credible sources, it is a sword. The sword featured is just a basic vertical double-edged blade. There's nothing special about this sword. There's no like hidden meaning or reference with it. It's just a sword. Next up on this list is the flag of Oman. In the top left of this really crappy image of this flag, you can see what is a J-shaped blade called a khanjar and 2 swords. The khanjar is a traditional Omani blade that is typically used by men for ceremonial purposes. The khanjar can be made with a wide range of materials depending on the resources available. Some khanjar have been made with gold, silver, and some cheaper ones have been made with brass and copper. The khanjar is also commonly worn in Yemen and in the United Arab Emirates. In Oman, the khanjar can be used to show symbolic status. It is also worn by men that are trying to go with a traditional dress look. The khanjar even makes an appearance on the Omani rial, which is the country's currency. Next up on this list is the flag of Saudi Arabia. The weapon featured on this flag is the sword underneath the shahada. The sword featured is called a saif, which literally just means sword in Arabic. Depending on which type of saif, the sword can be made of either iron or steel. From the 600s to the 1500s, this type of sword was extremely popular in the Arabian Peninsula and during the Islamic Golden Age. The saif was extremely popular until it wasn't. Once the Mongols came in and the Crusaders and eventually the Ottomans, the sword fell out of favor and people stopped producing it. The next flag on this list is going to be the flag of Sri Lanka. This flag features a really cool golden lion holding a sword which is called a kastan. Fun fact, the oldest surviving kastan is currently presented in the Sundai City Museum in Japan. It was originally owned by a Japanese samurai dating back to the 1600s. The swords are usually single-edged and can be straight or curved. These swords were made of steel, and the scabbards for these swords were made of wood or rhino horn and were highly decorated with brass, silver, and gold, and maybe even some rubies in there. The next flag on our list is the flag of Kenya. The flag features 2 spears and a Maasai shield. Maasai is the name of an Eastern Nilotic ethnic group that is native to Kenya and Tanzania. The Maasai people create these shields by sewing buffalo or cowhide onto wooden frames. The front of these shields are painted with natural dyes and are used to indicate social standings for the warriors. In the past, subclans within the Maasai would fight each other for territory and resources, but today the Maasai people actually work together to resist forced displacement and land grabbing attempts by governments and safari companies. The next flag on this list is the flag of Eswatini. The flag of Eswatini features 2 spears, a staff, and a shield called an nguni. These shields were made using raw cattle or ox hide, and a lot of consideration was actually put into making these shields. When creating these shields, the colors and hide preferences were used to selectively breed cattle to provide these specific preferences for these shields. For soldiers within the Zulu kingdom, the shields were highly symbolic and could indicate their age and veteran status. The colors and hides used for the shields could also be used to identify which regiment soldiers belonged to. The shields were so important in the Zulu kingdom's traditions that if a soldier lost one, he would be severely punished. On a real note, I was actually unprepared for how much lore these shields have. I would highly encourage you to read more into it because we just simply don't have enough time for all the lore about these shields. Next flag on this list is the flag of Angola. The emblem of this flag features a machete, a half cogwheel, and a 5-pointed star. The machete is supposed to represent peasants, agriculture, and the war for independence. The half cogwheel is supposed to represent the workers in the industry, and the star is supposed to represent international solidarity and progress. The machete can be used for agriculture as well as combat, so depending on how you look at it, it's either a tool or a weapon. Some people believe that this emblem is supposed to be Angola's version of the hammer and sickle, which is used to represent communism. However, today Angola operates as a unitary presidential republic. The next flag is the flag of Mozambique. This emblem features a 5-pointed star, an open book, a gardening hoe, and a bayoneted AK-47 rifle. The star is supposed to represent international solidarity of the Mozambican people. The book is supposed to represent education. The gardening hoe is supposed to represent production and agriculture. The AK-47 is supposed to represent defense. Depending on who you ask, a hoe can be a tool, a weapon, or somebody you know down the street, but let's just talk about the AK. The AK-47 is an automatic Russian rifle. I was about to say assault rifle, but I feel like somebody will freak out about me using the word assault. But anyways, it's definitely the most popular weapon ever made. Most people would recognize it just by its silhouette, and apparently there are an estimated 500 million of these worldwide. Now, which type of AK is it? We don't know. You can't really tell by the silhouette, but just use your imagination. It's whatever your favorite AK is. The next flag on this list is the flag of Malta, and you're probably asking me, where is the weapon? Don't worry, it's there. I'll show you. This flag just features a guy riding a horse and he's holding a sword. There's no way you can tell what type of sword it is, so just a sword. Now about the emblem is the George Cross, which was given to Malta in 1942 in recognition of its work in World War II. And then later on, the emblem was just added to the flag. The next flag on this list is the flag of Guatemala. The emblem featured on the flag is the Guatemalan coat of arms. It includes the national bird of Guatemala, a parchment scroll, 2 rifles, 2 swords, and a bay laurel crown. The national bird symbolizes liberty. The scroll has the date of Central America's independence from Spain. The rifles represent defense, the crown represents victory, and the swords represent honor. The swords appear to be just regular sabers, but the rifles are actually listed as Remington rolling block rifles. The Remington rolling block rifle was a rolling block breech rifle that was used from the late 1800s all the way to the end of World War I. The rifle was also used by literally almost every armed forces on the planet during the time it was popular. The next flag on this list is the flag of Belize. The flag of Belize features 2 men, one holding an axe and one holding an oar. The man on the left is a mestizo man and the man on the right is Afro-Belizean. The term mestizo is used to describe somebody that has European and indigenous ancestry. I'm not going to go into crazy detail about the axe, the oar, the sledgehammer, and what appears to be a saw, so they're just basic woodworker tools / weapons. Next up on this list, we got Haiti. The flag of Haiti features the Haitian coat of arms, and there's a lot going on here, so grab some popcorn while we go through this. The coat of arms features a palm tree, 2 cannons, a drum, 2 bugles, a bunch of cannonballs, ship anchors, and on top of the palm tree is a liberty cap. Also within the coat of arms is 6 draped flags, 3 on each side, so it's literally flagception. There's also 6 rifles behind the palm tree and 2 axes. There's a lot going on here, and basically what this whole thing is trying to just convey is triumph. So we'll just leave it at that. We don't need to break down each individual cannon, axe, rifle thing. Although I will mention the hat. The Liberty Cap is just a symbol of freedom. That's it. Next flag, Dominican Republic. The flag of the Dominican Republic also features their coat of arms. The coat of arms features 6 spears, a shield, and a Bible, which is open to John 8:31-32. Next flag is Ecuador. Now the coat of arms of this flag has a lot going on, and I actually want to cover it in a later video, so I'm just going to cover this pretty briefly. Featured on this flag are 4 halberds, which are basically just pole axes that were used in the 13th century against heavily armored men. The weapon can be used to bash, stab, and slice enemies. The other weapon featured is a fasces, which is not only a weapon but is also a symbol for authority and justice. The fasces has also been used as a symbol for fascism by the Italian National Fascist Party. Hope you're still with me because we've finally gotten to our final flag, the flag of Barbados. The flag of Barbados features a 3-pronged spear, also known as a trident. A trident is used for spear fishing, and it can also be used as a pole arm, just like the halberd was. The trident is also the tool of the gods of the ocean, so Poseidon and Neptune use this for protection of the sea. So that is all the national flags that contain weapons in their design. Bye.